When you think of Paul Verhoeven's 1987 ultra-violent crime thriller RoboCop, does your brain jump straight to horror? After all, what makes a horror film? Or better yet, what made a horror film in the 80s?
You may not like what you're going to see.
If you ask me, a dark sci-fi style noir film with brutal kills, body horror, excessive drugs, and, of course, even some TNA, is well suited to be on our list of iconic horror films that deserve to be praised and properly deconstructed. Over the years, RoboCop has grown to be a rather difficult franchise to get a hold of. With multiple sequels, a failed remake, and a recent hit video game, it's safe to say that the movie that spawned such a vast catalog must be incredibly interesting. And I am happy to say that it is. RoboCop is a movie that packs action, suspense, political satire, identity crisis, amazing gore, and, most importantly, a strong lead character, Alex Murphy, a newly transferred Detroit police officer whose murder leads to his rebirth as Delta City's new sheriff, RoboCop.
Drop the gun. You are under arrest.
So, in today's episode, we're gonna revisit this classic 80s action romp and figure out what makes it tick all these years later. If you're ready, then give me 15 minutes and a like on the video, and I'll give you the world. I'm Kier with Joe Blow Horror, and you're watching Deconstructing.
RoboCop. Who is he? What is he? Where does he come from? He is OCP's newest soldier in their revolutionary crime management program.
RoboCop is the story of Alex Murphy as he involuntarily volunteers to have the remains of his dead body be reconstructed by Detroit megacorporation Omni Consumer Products into a high-tech super cop who is only programmed to do three things: serve the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law. Of course, as the OCP gains more and more power, RoboCop will get closer and closer to solving the mystery of his own death and taking out the company that made him.
You're our product, and we can't very well have our products turning against us, can we?
The movie is widely held as one of the greatest action films of all time and is considered to be one of the best films in general made in the 1980s. And in order for us to properly figure out why we love this movie so much, we're gonna be breaking down this movie into our four key categories. First, we'll talk about the movie's origin, where we dive into how it got from an idea to the page to the big screen. Then, we're gonna talk about the movie's legacy, where I get into the vast franchise that this movie spawned, as well as some individual moments that make it a standout film in today's pop culture zeitgeist. After that, we're gonna lighten the load a little bit with some trivia, where I give you some fun facts about the production, and then finally, we'll close it off by talking about the movie's X Factor, where I look for the one individual gem that took this movie from being just another sci-fi action film to the blood-soaked treat that it really is. Brace yourself, folks, because it is time for RoboCop. In the early 1980s, a junior story executive at Universal named Edward Lumiere had the idea for a cyborg cop learning to exist and cooperate with the complexities of human intelligence. While stumbling into a job at Warner Bros. On the production of Blade Runner, another 80s sci-fi classic, Lumiere picked up the skills and confidence that he needed to write out a loose outline for his idea, and so began the incredible process of getting the movie greenlit and into production. Similar to Alfred Hitchcock's iconic film Psycho, Lumiere and his writing partner Michael Miner opted to tell their story by killing off their main character in the first act of the film. While Marion Crane stayed dead in Psycho, Alex Murphy is only partially dead, as some of his memories are stored deep down in his new cybernetic body. To add even more layers to this complex script, the writers also wanted to heavily poke fun at the 1980s business culture and excess lifestyle. This is best seen in the movie's hilarious and unsettling commercials and news broadcasts seen throughout the runtime.
You haven't dismantled your MX stockpile.
Pakistan is threatening my border!
That's it, Buster. No more military aid.
These themes are something that Lumiere found himself fascinated with, even stating once that the idea for Ed 209's brutal boardroom malfunction was inspired by multiple times where he'd find himself daydreaming that a robot would burst into his boardroom and shut everyone up. To drive that home even further, that's why the killer robot is called Ed. Like Edward. Not exactly the workplace experience we aim for, but do you, Ed?
Your move, creep.
The film's first draft script was picked up by Orion Pictures and was originally titled RoboCop, The Future of Law Enforcement, but was eventually shortened down to simply RoboCop. But in order to get the movie made, writers Lumiere and Miner were instructed to watch movies like Dirty Harry and Mad Max 2 in order to get a sense for the tone and style that the studio was looking for before they went back and wrote a second draft. With a script in hand and a studio budget, Paul Verhoeven was approached to direct, but he turned down the gig. Twice. It wasn't until the third time that he was asked to read the script that Paul Verhoeven decided to take on the project, and the director stated that what changed his mind was the satire angle that he found to be refreshing and bold within such a violent film. In terms of the cast, the movie is fully stacked with talent, and as much as I could praise the characters in this movie, the actors giving them life are just as worthy. We've got Peter Weller in his iconic performance as the titular RoboCop, Nancy Allen as his hard-ass partner, Kurtwood Smith as the film's villain, who we're definitely going to be talking more about, and even a small role from the legendary Ray Wise. Not to mention one of the most despicable characters in all of the RoboCop lore, Bob Morton, played by Miguel Ferrer.
We're projecting the end of crime in Old Detroit within 40 days.
Seriously, that guy. The film started out shooting in 1986 with an estimated budget of $11 million, and part of that budget was meant to be allocated to obtaining the same production team from the Blade Runner film. But when it came time to write the check, Verhoeven was forced to choose between a kick-ass RoboCop costume or a kick-ass production team, but he couldn't have both. Obviously, it all worked out because the look of RoboCop is beautiful, and the sets are still pretty incredible. The movie was mostly shot in Dallas, Texas, and was full of on-set shenanigans, which we're definitely going to explore more in the trivia section. So, with a great script, filming underway, a cast of kick-ass actors, and a cool-looking suit, it was time to release the film. where to start with this movie's legacy? When we talk about RoboCop, we're most likely going to talk about the insane brutality of the violence in the film and how unforgiving some of these kills are. Specifically, the Ed 209 malfunction, which leaves an innocent OCP executive reduced to a pile of guts in front of everyone in the room. Of course, Paul Verhoeven is no stranger to extreme violence in cinema, as we can see from films like The Fourth Man, Hollow Man, and Flesh and Blood. Even his more comedic approach to Starship Troopers had its fair share of guts. But this movie's legacy is built on more than excess blood and action. The movie also had an iconic character with the potential for Hollywood's favorite drug and greatest crutch: franchising.
I don't know about that. I've been through a lot.
Like many of the movies we break down on this show, this movie was quickly turned into multiple movies with only a few years passing between each film. It's easily the most iconic role that Peter Weller has ever found himself in, and with good reason. When I talk about RoboCop from now on, I'm gonna be talking about Weller as Alex Murphy, a charming but fully competent everyman with the right balance of edge and polish. Then his performance as RoboCop. Cold, scripted, but still full of personality. Peter Weller is RoboCop. No offense to the attempt to revive the film's status with 2014's Joel Kinnaman-led RoboCop remake, but this role only requires one guy, and that guy is not you.
It didn't work, but you tried. Something went wrong.
You're fired!
Aside from the two poorly received sequels, there was also a cartoon as well as a few TV series which chronicled the continued adventures of RoboCop. Not to mention the video game which saw the return of Weller as the voice. Have you played it? Is it awesome?
I figure that's dead on.
Thank you.
The scene that reveals RoboCop for the first time is about 30 minutes into the movie, and it really takes its time charging up our anticipation as the camera teases us with small glimpses and reflections of the high-tech street soldier before finally giving us the money shot.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
Just like any great accomplishment in cinema, the setbacks and odds were stacked against this production in many ways, but one of them being that to make a suit look this good, the costume department needed more time than they had to get it up to par. Luckily, the production was able to stay on schedule, but Weller was unable to rehearse with the suit before filming his scenes. In many ways, I actually think this adds to the robotic nature of RoboCop's movements. If Weller had been more comfortable moving in the suit, he may not have had such a slow and intimidating performance, and it may have made the character less believable as a cyborg. I don't know, but to me, those little things really make a difference when it comes to a movie being scrutinized like this nearly 40 years later. Okay, so here's a funny story from the recently released RoboDoc, a documentary on the making and legacy of RoboCop. While on set, gun safety expert and weapons master Randy E. Moore was prepping an explosion for a scene while having a midday snack with a stack of Oreo cookies, when Weller reportedly walked up to him in full RoboCop attire and in character and said to him, "Robo wants an Oreo." To which Moore replied that he could only have the Oreo if he asked him out of character. Weller refused to break character and began shouting from the top story of the set, "Robo wants an Oreo!" causing a bit of a spectacle on the shoot. Randy Moore then decided to shove the entire stack of Oreos in his mouth and let the crumbs fall to the floor right in front of Weller, which apparently made him very upset. Mr. Weller, of course, denies this event ever happening, but what do you think? Was he embarrassed about his behavior, or does he really not recall Robo wanting an Oreo? Also, hey man, if you're in character as RoboCop, you do not want an Oreo, because we all know that RoboCop only eats baby food.
Oh, thank you. I'm not hungry.
And before we move on, let's see if you can answer this question. After the success of RoboCop, Paul Verhoeven opted to use fake TV commercials as a way of developing concepts in his movies. Which other Paul Verhoeven films utilize fake commercials? Here's a hint, there's two of them. A. Total Recall. B. Basic Instinct. C. Black Book. Or D. Starship Troopers. Comment your answers down below. This may be the most difficult time I've had with this segment yet. Not because this movie is better than the others I've covered, but it certainly has a lot going for it. I avoided talking much about Kurtwood Smith as Clarence Boddicker because the plan was to pin this entire section of the video on him and focus on his ideal portrayal of a menacing villain. He's a little bit Jack Nicholson, a little bit John Malkovich, and a whole lot of crazy. The movie has a lot of villainous characters in it, but Clarence and his gang are the real enemies here. And Kurtwood Smith plays the character as a smooth-talking, never cracking under pressure, calm and collected opportunist. He's cold as ice, but he's smiling the entire time. It is fucking art. But it's just not the X Factor.
You probably don't think I'm a very nice guy, do you?
I also considered using this section to talk about the film's legendary score by Basil Polydoros, which uses industrial Foley and metallic sounds to create a futuristic soundtrack that plays perfectly into the final act's more orchestral and intense composition. It's so good that I kind of wonder why this guy wasn't hired to compose the remake. But alas, I cannot give it the title of X Factor. And you know what? The truth is, we all know what this movie's standout element is. And I'm not talking about Ed 209's stop motion animation situation, or whatever that is. But what I'm talking about, what the real X factor of this movie is the film's final line.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy.
This movie rules. There's a lot of brilliant and thoughtful filmmaking that went into delivering this underdog turned blockbuster, and it all wraps up with a line that reveals the movie's true meaning. The Robo in RoboCop isn't what makes him special. It's the cop in RoboCop. The individual whose uncompromising sense of morality, of empathy, of justice is what saves the day. RoboCop was an experiment born out of greed and harmful ambition, but the journey he goes on to discover the Alex J. Murphy underneath the high-tech suit and corporate coding is what makes RoboCop a true cinematic hero.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Friday Night Flicks. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed the pre-show. I do have a little bit of a surprise, which I know we gave away in the thumbnail, but I'm not alone tonight. I've actually brought a guest with me, friend of the show and producer of the show. John Fallon is here. So John, you can go ahead and come on whenever you're ready. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, handsome
man?
Oh,
well, look at us.
There you go.
How about that? We're
doing?
already in sync. It usually takes 5 minutes of preamble before we get there.
Yeah.
So what's up, man?
I'm good, dude. How you doing, bro? I mean,
I'm feeling good.
You know, it's October. It's spooky season. By the way, hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm going to try not to cuss. I'm going to do my best, but it might not work, just FYI. Love you guys too, SE Wings.
SE Wings 221. Sorry about that.
Love you too, bro. It's spooky season. We're gonna talk about horror. I am all about horror. Why I'm here, and I'm also here to make sure you're doing your job properly. You know.
I mean, every once in a while, an audit is in order just to make sure that I'm keeping the company name squeaky clean. You know.
Exactly.
Which is why I'll try to watch my fucking mouth.
Dude, go fuck yourself, man. Come on, don't fucking think that way.
Yeah, we got to break some ice. You know, we're gonna break some ice for you guys. I'm gonna get some music going in the background, nice and light for everybody. We'll do a little down tempo, a little chill music as usual, guys. If the music is too loud or too soft, I don't imagine it'd be too soft because why would you care? But if it's too loud, let me know. So John,
look at this shit. It's like strip club shit, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what gets me in the Friday night vibes. You know, this is where I'd like to be in this zone most of my life. So John, you've been producing this show since its inception, but you've also been you're our director of operations. You're the lead producer on many of our shows across multiple channels. So talk to us. What's John Fallon's vibe? How do we introduce anybody who I don't know why you'd be here if you didn't know John, but let's introduce you to anybody who doesn't know you.
I love movies, and I love everything about the. Dude, can you put that music a little lower, man?
Yeah, let's turn it. Okay, so it's too loud for even John. Okay.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Let's turn it down a little.
I love movies. I love horror movies. I love being a nerd. I love that I have figurines all over the place. I just love like the whole. How can you say it? The whole lifestyle of being a movie geek. I love it. So really, that's what I'm about, man. I've been blessed enough to be able to act in movies, to direct movies, to produce movies, to work on Joe Blow and produce, a lot of our fine shows on Joe Blow Originals, work with you, work with Lance. So really, at the end of the day, now I'm talking about it out loud. I shouldn't really complain about my life because my life's pretty fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
It's it's a cool life. I think the average person, maybe coming home on a Friday night from, a job that maybe they don't love would probably look at what we do and think it's pretty awesome. So I try to stay in that headspace as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Speaking of movies you've directed, I don't want to be too, I don't want to turn this into a schmooze sesh, but I recently watched one of your films that you directed and we're in. I watched Malicious. Your latest.
Nice, yeah.
I got to tell you, Johnny.
Yeah.
I went into that movie not knowing what to expect. I didn't know what your creative sensibilities were like. I got to tell you, not only did I thoroughly enjoy the movie, I think you rounded up a hell of a cast, including yourself, to be in it. So,
that was, by accident. Look, okay, you'll get the raise, Kier. Don't worry about it. The raise is coming. Don't worry about it. I didn't want to be in the film, to be honest. I directed Malicious, now out on Tubi and Amazon, Malicious 2023. But I had an actor pull out at the last second, and being that I have a stunt background and I know that I'm going to show up, I decided to take on the role. But if I had to do it again, I would not, yeah.
Interesting. So you didn't want to be in it. You just kind of had to get into that character last minute. You had to become a detective. Like, I don't want to spoil it.
Well, I co-wrote the script with my lead, Kevin Internato, and I knew the script very well. So, and that character, came from me. So it was not really much of a stretch to just do my thing. But at least I could depend on me to show up, do what I got to do, and no problems, and move on and get the film, in the can, as they say.
Yes, well, it came out great, man. I had a lot
thank
of
you
fun with that movie. I recommended it to some folks that love action, but especially the kind of the twists. That's that's what you recommend that movie for, because it's good stuff, man. Right on. Well, that was a sick intro. You've definitely been kind of at least for me in my tenure at Joe Blow, we've kind of always worked together pretty close. So this is a lot of fun for me because I have yet to ever do a thing with you creatively. So this is our first, and I'm very excited about that. And
I'm very frightened because I know this is live, right?
It is live.
Fuck me. So I'm gonna try to be a good boy, but I'm usually, it's a bit hard for me. I have, I just speak my mind, maybe a little too much sometimes, but we'll see how it goes. Let's make the best of it.
I think it's what many of us love about you. And so I think, our audience, they're pretty close to how we all feel at work. And I think that we're going to all embrace it together.
Amen, brother.
Now, I do want to I have a comment here. And this would be a perfect question for you, although I do know the answer, but Gorifin wants to know, or Gorfian wants to know, when did Joe Blow start? What are our origins?
Wow, that's insane. Actually, Joe Blow started with Burge Garabedian, who's my best friend and also my partner and also my boss. So he's a bunch, if I was gay, he'd be my lover, but he's not. So he started Joe Blow in 1998, if memory serves me right, in his basement when he was living with his parents. And he wanted to, which is actually a really genius idea if you stop and think about it. He saw, in those days, it was all like print reviews, like LA Times, blah, 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 blah. He wanted to create something that's where it's for the Joe Blow, for the everyday person, how they feel about movies. So, for example, Armageddon was a good example of that.
Yeah.
When Armageddon came out, everybody, all the print critics, crapped on it, but we loved it. So he just wanted to create a space for the everyday movie fan, and he did, obviously, because we're like 25 years later, and here we are. Bravo. And I came in 2000 with Arrow in the Head. Actually, I still have the email to this day. I might frame it one day because I didn't think it would have so much to do with my life, He sent me an email. Hey, man, I started this website. You know about the horror shit. You know how to write. You want to, do this shit on my thing, like a horror section? I'm like, yeah, whatever. I didn't think much of it. And Arrow in the Head was born, and it took about, for me personally, 3 months for me to realize, oh my God, oh man, I'm onto something here. New career path, So, man, here I am, still 25 years later. So, yeah.
I love that, man. Oh yeah, 25 years with Joe Blow. Obviously now, talking about movies sometimes is more fun than making them. We're both filmmakers here. Sometimes it's more fun to just get on a live stream in front of a captive audience that, feels like they can't leave because they don't want to miss the giveaway, and just talk your shit and run your mouth about movies. Or in this case, praising the ones that got us into horror. Or at the very least, let me rephrase. Tonight's main topic is going to be covering gateway horror movies.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about a gateway horror movie, you got your obvious ones. You got your Ghostbusters. You got your, I don't want to say any of the ones that are on the list yet. So your Hocus Pocus, whatever you will, But I think that even deeper than that.
I've never seen that movie, by the way.
You should see it before you mock it.
Why? Why would I see that fucking thing?
Because it fucking rules, John. Because it rules hard. I know.
Okay.
But I will say this.
Bette Midler, right?
Oh, yeah. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker. It's a good time.
Oh, yeah. You're selling me right now, bro.
Well, you're not a Sex and the City fan, John? Come on.
No, I'm not. No. I don't
You're going to tell me you don't watch Gossip Girl.
No, I've never seen an episode. But
show's over, everybody. Thanks for coming. No, I'm joking. I've also never seen it. But here's how I would define for Gorfian. I'm so sorry for, but you know how it is. We're on Brown here. If I'm not messing up your name, then I'm not doing it right. Gorfian wants to know what a gateway horror is. Here's how I see it. If you dig a little deeper into your movies like your Ghostbusters and your Hocus Pocus, you'll find movies that might have a family-friendly rating, a family-friendly plot, family-friendly cast, but have scary and otherwise, potentially for children, traumatizing moments within them. That's how I would define a gateway horror movie.
It's a horror movie that's soft enough to be able to introduce your children to, and then get them into the horror genre. That's the way I perceive it personally. So it's not like Jason and taking the sleeping bag, the chick in the bag, and banging against the thing and titties and all that stuff, all the things we all love.
Yes.
No, it's softer. It's scary enough. It's gateway horror, and we're going to talk about it in 5 minutes. What?
Yep.
it's horror movies that you could show to your children to get them into horror films, but yet you're not a shit parent because you're not showing them, Friday 13th, part, 4 or something. Yeah.
That's a great way. And I almost feel now silly because to me now, when you said that definition, the first movie that came to mind for me was The Lost Boys, which I almost wish I would have included on this list, but I would almost go as far as to say that's a little too far into.
It's borderline gateway horror. It's borderline gateway horror, The Lost Boys, because I remember I showed it to kids, and then there's that montage with Cry Little Sister and Jason Patrick is making love to
Star
Jamie Gerard.
Yeah.
And so, it's very like music video kind of thing. But I had to close the. So if you have to close the eyes, in my useless opinion, it is not gateway horror. But if you never have to close the eyes, you're good to go.
I actually like that, and I'm going to adopt that as my standard for what I consider gateway horror. If there's a moment I wouldn't show, I don't have any kids, but you do. If there's a moment I wouldn't show your kids, then it's too scary or too inappropriate. It looks like The Lost Boys was Mike Conway's kid's first legitimate horror movie.
Nice.
And Scream when he was 9. 9
Scream,
is about
really?
when I got into horror. Yeah. I saw Scream, so this'll let you guys know, for those of you that are always asking how old I am, because I could be 40, I could be 90, you don't know. I saw Scream came out when I was about 4 years old, and when it came out,
old. Shit.
When it came out on VHS, my mom had rented it for my older brother and some of his friends, and I watched it, and I can honestly say that movie didn't. I loved it, but it didn't scare me as a kid as much as something like The Lost Boys scared me. Yeah, really? I think the creature design of vampires I found a little more scary than like the real world threat of a serial killer. I think vampires were always more scary to me.
Yeah, fair enough. Do each his own.
Yeah. Well, with all of this being said, John, I don't want to take too much time because also we both got work to do, even though it's Friday night, and I actually have a plane to catch tomorrow, and I still have to pack.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, but thank you, I appreciate that, and we'll be in touch. I'll be working the whole time. You guys are still gonna see me next Friday, by the way, so don't give me no shit, okay? Some of you guys are gonna send me DMs and ask where I'm gonna be next Friday. I'm not telling you. You're gonna see me right here. That's where I'll be. Okay.
That's all that matters, bro.
It is fun. I do have some people reach out to me. We had to cancel a stream last month. And I did have some people reaching out to me personally to make sure I was okay. So thank you guys for that, by the way. And I'm great. I want to go into, and I kind of want to save this, John, but I kind of don't.
Just say it.
Okay.
Come on, let it out. Come on.
The first movie on your list for tonight, which by the way, we're gonna get into right away. But before we do, the first movie on your list, I almost wanted to steal from you. This would have made it onto my list so quickly had it not already been on yours. But I did find a very comparable movie that I also love to go up against it. So even though we're not debating whose is better here, I would like some audience participation. The first two movies we talk about, one of them will be a John pick, one of them will be a Kier pick, and they're very similar, and I'd be curious to know which one you guys like more. Even though it's not a debate, it doesn't have to be a debate. It could be a civil, loving, we could love both, okay?
You don't know me very well, do you? Nothing civil tonight, brother. Nothing civil.
You'll notice there was an optimism in what I said, almost as if I didn't believe it was going to happen. But,
awesome.
Without any further ado, let's just get into the list. John, your first one here is Monster Squad, which is a great movie. Got some B-roll here. So Monster Squad, what's your history with it? Why do you love it?
I mean, it's very much parallel to the Goonies.
Yes.
It has all the Universal monsters, even though they were not allowed to, because of copyright, they were allowed to say that's Dracula, that's Frankenstein, that's Wolfman. They had to like tweak a little bit their books and stuff like that. But anybody with half a brain knows that's Dracula, that's Frankenstein, that's Wolfman, that's the Mummy, and everything like that. And I think it just encompasses everything that is great about being a kid. It's monsters. It's kids fighting monsters. It has humor. It's just a fun movie. I mean, God bless Fred Dekker. Like, it kind of blows my mind a little bit because Fred Dekker did like some really great stuff, man. he did the Monster Squad. He did Night of Creeps.
Night of the Creeps, yeah.
Which is one of my like utmost. I'm like watching it this Halloween. It's one of my favorite horror movies. He did RoboCop 3. I don't really blame him. I blame more the studio for what happened with that.
Fair.
But the Monster Squad, is a movie that didn't make much money. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, guys. If it was a smash hit, correct me if I'm wrong. But to my knowledge, it didn't make much money, but it became a cult classic over time. And it is an ideal film. I have 2 kids now, 16 and 11. They've already seen Commando, Rambo. I've took them through the ringer. But I will show them Monster Squad on Halloween because it's a perfect gateway horror film to show the children and get them to the genre. And then hopefully when they become in their 20s and stuff, they watch like Friday 13 Part 5, the boobies and, I'm trying to be a good, father figure, So.
Yes. I'd say you're doing if you show your kids Monster Squad, you're already doing a great job.
There you have it.
So I agree. I think Monster Squad is in a lot of ways similar to the Goonies, but the one thing is, to me anyway, and I love the Goonies, very into that.
Me
movie.
too.
But Monster Squad has a sense to me of it's almost like the Stranger Things effect years before Stranger Things, where it makes me feel like it's Halloween night and me and my friends are out riding our bikes looking for trouble, looking for mischief. And it gives me this sense of nostalgia that I like to live in around Halloween time. I like to live in that kind of, let's go play with a Ouija board in a cemetery, just something a little spooky for you and your friends to kind of indulge in. And this movie is what happens when you get exactly what you want and spooky things come out.
And it's 2 things. Number one, it is a shame that it was not a big hit because we never got a sequel, because it is prime for sequels. But they should have, they've been talking about like doing a Goonies sequel now. Dude, I don't give a bleep about a Goonies sequel now. Everybody's like, my age. So what do I care now? But Monster Squad should have had sequels, but unfortunately, it didn't make money and it became a cult classic. I literally, before this stream, showed my 11-year-old trailer for Monster Squad, and his exact words were, "Oh, it's ripping off Stranger Things." And I'm like, bro, because bro is a very popular word in my house.
Oh yeah,
bruh. No, man, it's the okay. Stranger Things ripped off the Goonies, Monster Squad. So respect to the OG. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, on Halloween, I am gonna show it to them because I've seen it. So I'll show it to them.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I love Stranger Things, but let's get clear about one thing. Stranger Things is a derivative of many other incredible things.
Yeah.
I gotta pin. We got Tyler on the stream. What's up, Tyler? I gotta pin his comment. Wolfman's got nards, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Classic line from the movie. I think they even made a documentary, right, about the making of the movie.
Yeah, and it was called that, I think.
Yeah. That's pretty. I think it was the cast of the movie that put that together. That's awesome. We've also got S. Ewing's 221. Gremlins, yes, can definitely be a Christmas movie. I'm not going to bring it up in total because that movie may or may not be on this list. But I did see a lot of Gremlins comments, so I want to make you guys aware. We know. Oh, yeah. In fact, I think, John, you got a Gremlins action figure behind you there. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I got Stripe right there. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's cool. Yeah. Is it completely unopened?
Yeah, I'm that guy. I don't really. Oh, now he's gonna fall. That sucks. But this dude.
Oh, that is so rad, dude. It's like super. It's like a super cool action figure, not just a figurine.
Now I gotta put him down. I'll put him on the wall later. Yeah.
And just don't feed it after midnight, buddy. Whatever you do.
That's what I heard, man. I say the same thing about my wife, so it's all good.
My wife would say the same thing about me, so I guess in that way it's similar. Oh, look, some of you guys are putting your movies in here.
Okay, let's see what's up.
And some of them look familiar to us, like this one, Johnny. We have
one of my personal favorites, Jarmello 2006, The Gate. Yeah, The Gate is one of my top crossover horror movies, if you will. A young Steven Dorff, his first film, and there's scenes from that movie that are carved in my brain ever since.
Save them, because we may or may not have it on this list.
Yeah, we may not, yeah.
Yeah, I'm appreciating we got a Return to Oz, and I want to tell you again, Gorfy, and thank you for all the comments today. If you love Return to Oz, hang out around the Joe Blow Originals channel this month because we got a nice juicy chunk video on that movie coming.
Great video, by the way.
It is good. Yeah, Jessica did a great job. All right, so we talked Monster Squad. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, before we got into this, that I had one that I thought was maybe comparable to Monster Squad in many ways. And I don't want to say that I personally think this movie is better, but I will say that this next movie on my list means an awful lot to me, and that is Little Monsters. You'll notice on this set of B-roll, my TV here showing my movie is different from yours. I took the liberty of separating our picks into different TVs.
Nice. Well done, bro.
Yes. So Little Monsters, I want to tell you guys about this. When I was growing up, there were very few. I've always been into horror movies. That was kind of, I think, my first like favorite movie genres. I just kind of was drawn to scary movies. But I saw Little Monsters when I was already like well indoctrinated into horror movie culture. So I was already on the slashers and the real scary shit. And when I was about 13 or 14, I saw Little Monsters, and I watched it because I was heavily into Boy Meets World. And the Savage Brothers star in this movie. Have you seen this movie, John?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay. I fucking love this movie. So this movie stars Howie Mandel as a monster who lives under the bed. And this is the kind of shit that I love. This is very similar to Monster Squad in terms of the tone. It's a group of kids. They have kind of a summer, I don't know, of being kids, of adolescence. And it all gets disrupted by the very mature world of monsters that live under your bed in this kind of underground network of spooky monsters. And while I saw this movie as a teenager, I will say it still gave me the fucking creeps. There's a character in this movie named Boy. Not the guy played by Meatloaf, although sick character. But there's a character named Boy in this movie that scared the ever-living shit out of me as a kid. And I still, to this day, every time I watch this movie, I get the willies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I think that if I were a father or a parent in any way, or even like if I had my nephew over and he wanted to watch a spooky movie, I think this movie would freak out a kid. I think there's parts of this movie that would make a kid feel very afraid to lay in their bed alone at night. And I love shit like that because it's otherwise a very poppy kind of Spielberg-esque movie, you know? But it really delivers on being frightening at times. That, and can we be honest? It was directed by somebody who is known for VFX and costume design. So when you have something like that, kind of the same with like Damien Leone in the Terrifier movies, when the director is also the VFX artist, you know you're at least going to get some really cool creature design and some nice ooey gooey slimy stuff. And that's what this movie is to me. It's just overall a whole vibe for Halloween. But I want to know from you guys, of course, throughout this whole time, let me know in the comments what movie you prefer. Is it Little Monsters starring Fred Savage and Howie Mandel? Or is it Monster Squad starring Uncle Rico as Wolfman? I don't mean to downplay it that way, but it sounds funnier if I do. Clearly, I win that one.
Yeah, you know what? I might check out the movie again just based on your description of it, because I've seen it once and it never stayed with me. So, like Monster Squad, stayed with me. Poltergeist, or The Gate. I got a bunch of titles that stay with me, but Little Monsters never stay with me. So I saw once, that's all right, and I moved on with my life. But I guess maybe not the majority. Maybe it's a cult classic for a lot of people. And Silver Bullet. So the Arnell leaks say Silver Bullet.
Yeah, great one.
Respect, bro. So I'll check it out again just because of you here.
I appreciate that. You make me feel good at my job when I've sold you on a movie based on my description, because that's pretty much all I'm meant to do. That's why you guys keep me here, right? Now it looks like, for the most part, John, at least so far off of initial comments, it looks like Monster Squad is the very clear winner here for which movie out of the two is better. Now I can't necessarily disagree, but we couldn't both have it, so I'm glad that we got that one.
I didn't even know it was a competition, but that's fair enough.
I want to show, just for fun, I just want to show you guys, this is what Boy looks like in Little Monsters.
Mm.
And that is terrifying to me. That is a terrifying image of a person.
Looks like a chick I dated once. I'm not kidding, by the way, but yeah.
Well, then I feel bad saying how horrifying he is.
No, I've seen worse. No worries.
Okay, well, you know, John, I can't even judge you because
Yeah, you just go, bro. Do your thing, bro.
you know, I can't, you know, I mean, all I'm saying, guys, is how did I not win this debate? We know what John's taste is like now, okay? But that's neither here nor there anymore because we have your next movie. And John, this one I cannot debate is a classic. That's Poltergeist. Let's talk about it. What do you love about Poltergeist?
Really? you know, guys and dolls, everybody over here. Poltergeist. I'm done. I mean, Poltergeist is it's funny because, you know, it's considered a gateway horror film, but really it has some seriously disturbing things in it.
And it's PG.
And that's why, you know, I was from the generation of Poltergeist when it first came out. And that's why I'm such a tough guy right now, you know? Because, you know, I saw a guy's face being ripped off, you know? I saw real dead bodies come out of a pool. And, you know, and I had to live that, and because it was PG. You know, and no, Poltergeist is just great filmmaking altogether. I know there's a lot of controversy in terms of was it Toby Hooper, was it Spielberg? I don't really care who really was behind the creative force of the picture, because the end result is filmmaking, in my opinion, obviously magic. It is magic. That movie is magic, and you want to know how much magic that movie was? Look at the remake. The remake was like, I'm not even going to say anything else, you know. So that movie is lightning in a bottle, man. And you know, we had Poltergeist 2, Poltergeist 3, we had the remake, as I said before, and they never managed to capture that magic. Everything from the character to the story progression, to the scares, to the clown, to the face, to, you know, Carol Ann. I mean, forget about it. Poltergeist is just masterclass in genre filmmaking, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I think it's one of those movies that deserves all of the hype that it gets as a classic. You know, there's some movies that people praise as if they were always good, when we know that's not the case. Like, for example, speaking of Fred Decker, I believe he was in this Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Yeah. That movie, nobody liked it first. Now everybody loves it. I love it, but
it's cult classic.
Classic. I think Poltergeist is the opposite, where that's one that everybody liked immediately, and it has just coasted through. I mean, you look at the sequels, the remake, as you mentioned, Poltergeist is the only one that was ever nominated for the Academy Award. I think VFX and the original score, maybe the sound effects even, were nominated for Oscars. That shit says a lot, because horror movies never get the praise they deserve as it is. And this was a PG title, which I will say, had it been made now, probably PG-13 at least. But
easily PG-13.
Yeah,
but you know, in the old days, we're a bit rougher around the edges. You know, today we're a bit more coddling, a bit more soft, in my opinion, obviously. But Poltergeist, I mean, scared the living shit out of me, man.
Yeah.
And if I watch it tomorrow, it's still gonna scare the living shit out of me. I'm a grown man, yeah. I have arthritis. Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm a grown man. Yeah, it still scares me. Yeah.
Which actually, this reminds me, if you guys want, if you love Poltergeist, we have a Poltergeist T-shirt in our merch store, and I own it personally. I would have worn it for you today, but as usual, laundry day. It's my favorite shirt in our entire collection is our Poltergeist shirt. If you guys love that movie, like John loves that movie, like I loves that movie, go buy yourself a shirt. Buy one for me. Buy one for John. Be polite. Be cool about it.
Don't buy one for me. I'm okay. But, you know,
they think
just
because
buy one for yourself. That's okay. Yeah.
They think because we make the shirts that we don't also want them. Okay. That's what it is. All right. So, yeah, Poltergeist, I'm going to just kind of chime in on that. The remake didn't do anything for me, and I didn't even dislike it. It just...
Dude, I totally forgot that remake existed.
It's got Sam Rockwell in it too. How crazy!
Yeah, and the director was the guy that did Monster House. If I remember, it was his first like live action feature film. He had directed a Monster House.
Love Monster House.
That remake is so, and you know, no offense to anybody, it's hard to make a movie, but it's so disposable.
Yes.
That when I was going through my list, and I'm like, oh, Poltergeist, and I'm like, oh shit, there was a remake of that. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. I totally forgot there was a remake of that. And nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared.
People are surprised that this thing was PG.
Yeah.
Why is it PG? We don't know, man. We don't know. I'm loving all of these comments, you guys. I will get to some of these as we go.
I
But
just saw Temple of Doom by Darnell Leak.
oh yeah, I saw that one.
Love
in there
that
too,
movie.
in that. I also got one for you from Claudio Delissi. We got somebody who hasn't seen you in years.
I haven't seen you here. Do we know each other, Claudio? I mean, do we share a common ground? I mean, talk to me, baby.
Yeah, where'd you see him last, Claudio? Where was the last time you saw him? That's what I want to know. You see him
I don't want to know, man. There's so many things I forgot on purpose. Who knows?
I saw you at the premiere for the Poltergeist remake. You said you loved it.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. We're gonna keep it moving. Like I said, guys, we're gonna try to keep our schedule tonight. I know you like when we ramble, but there's still plenty of rambling to be done. Because next we're gonna get into one that I know, similar to Poltergeist, I know everybody's gonna love. And this, to me, this is one of my picks for maybe the best gateway horror movie. I've seen this movie 50 times. We're talking.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean,
dude, this movie, right? I mean,
you don't need to say a fucking word. I'm sorry. You don't need to say a fucking word. Oh, I said it again. Sorry again. Yeah, Gremlins. Go ahead, man.
Well, first of all, actually, Claudio saw you when he was 18.
Oh.
At a bar during Fantasia Festival.
Oh, no, that's feasible, man. Hey, what's up, dog? How
Yeah,
you doing?
well, hey, he's 36 now. Bro, welcome home.
Yeah, and I'm still 25. Who knew? Yeah.
You look 24, Johnny. You don't look a day above 24, my friend.
Right here. Go ahead, Gremlins, man.
Yeah, so Gremlins.
Movie, dude.
Yeah, dude, this movie, it's kind of one of those ones where you got the dream team involved. This is an Amblin Entertainment movie written by Chris Columbus. Joe Dante made this. I mean, like, it's just everything about it says that this is going to be a classic movie. Even from the very 80s cast of this movie, you got people like Phoebe Cates, you got Corey Feldman's in this movie. So, of course, that was Zach Galligan.
Zach Galligan.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
This is the movie where, whether it's Christmas, it's like kind of from Halloween season to Christmas time, you put this movie on and everybody in the room is happy. If you're looking for something to kind of freak the kids out, these creatures are spooky. The puppetry is really good. The sounds they make, but it's also, you got Gizmo. He's cute. You got the Christmas aesthetic. It's kind of, it's inviting. It's fun. This kind of tiny town with that old vintage Burger King. It just hits me everywhere in my movie brain is satisfied by this movie. Specifically, this is one of those ones. My history with this movie is, this is one of those ones where I found it early in my life and I think didn't really know how big of an impact it would have on me. But I did have kind of when I initially saw it, I did kind of have one of those childhood phases where you're obsessed with the movie that you're into at that time. For some people, it's Star Wars or, one of the comic book character. But for me, I was obsessed with Gremlins. Since I was about, I don't know, 8-9 years old, this movie has really held a special place in my heart.
No, it's a great film, man. It's on paper, the fact that it even got made, and of course, once again, in my useless opinion, is a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle, because it's a movie that has all the fuzzy, cuddly, cutie things, with Gizmo and everything like that. It's a Christmas movie. And then, you got Stripe with a chainsaw chasing, the lead. And then you have Phoebe Cates giving her monologue about why she hates Christmas, where her dad died in the chimney. It switches tones so many times. It's a comedy, it's a drama, it's a horror film, and it keeps swapping. And I think that's why Gremlins, the original, is a special film, because they actually managed to tone swap pretty much the whole throughout and pull it off. Yeah.
That's interesting to me too, because like movies like this, like at least with this formula, exist today. Like there are plenty of movies today, even like Netflix originals around this time of year. There's probably 4 or 5 Gremlins ripoffs out there since. None of them have found the balance the way that Gremlins finds it, between what is kind of cinematic goofiness and also true kind of, I don't know, serious cinema. It still feels like classic cinema, but I think today a movie like this goes straight to Netflix and people forget about it. So it's like lightning in a bottle, very similar to Poltergeist. It's a formula that is easily replicated, but so hard to catch up to, even still. And that's a standard set, 40 years ago, 40 years ago.
Woo. Yeah, 1984, if memory serves me right.
Like exactly.
I just saw Darnell Leak say Cujo, so I had to. Yeah, that's a great family movie, brother. That's can't get enough. Yeah,
it'll make you want to get a family dog, just like Beethoven.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Actually, you know what? Before you move on, let me put you on the spot, Kier, real fast. And you know what, guys and dolls, you too, okay? Gremlins. It inspired a bunch of knockoffs. So, what's your favorite Gremlins knockoff? Critters, Ghoulies, Munchies. What's up?
Critters is the only one that I've seen that's like a real knockoff of Gremlins, and I love Critters and Critters 2. Those are kind of like those are get stoned on the couch movies for me. Very similar to like kind of how I imagine
bag of Cheetos, a bag of Cheetos.
Exactly, yeah, just a big old bag of Flamin' Hots and a couple edibles, and I can get into Critters pretty easily for sure. What about you? Do you have one that you enjoy, or are they all?
No, Critters 1 is probably like one of my favorite. Critters 2, it's grown on me in time, like an ideal Easter movie, for example.
Yes.
But I like kind of like the meanness of Critters 1. Critters 1 is a little meaner, a little more cruel. Billy Zane getting whacked, all that shit.
I love Billy Zane so much in that movie, but I love Billy Zane in anything. But yeah,
me too.
Yeah, of course, dude. A pirate superhero. We need more of that shit, man. I want more of that. In a purple suit.
Dude, I saw somebody, give me a sec. Again, my boy, Gore Finn, Fire and Ice, 1983. Respect, but it's not a gateway horror movie, but I love the film. But let's move on,
Yeah, I don't think I could count Fire and Ice either. But again, if you love that movie, we have a video on it. So please check it out. We do. A good one, too. A lot of views on that Fire and Ice video we did.
Yeah, it actually went viral. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, good shit, man. All right, John, we've got your last one here from your top 3. I know you've got a lot of these titles up your sleeve. But this one was mentioned by a few fans in the chat earlier, so I think we're excited to get to it. I know I am. I love this movie.
Yeah, Debbie Does Dallas.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah, right? Oh, The Gate. Sorry.
The Gate.
My bad. Yeah, I mean, the Gate is like Poltergeist Redux. It hits pretty much the same kind of like tone beats where it's harsh enough, but it's not so harsh, especially in those days, because today we're a bit more, soft, I would say.
Maybe some of us.
But, there are scenes from that film, and of course it starred Stephen Dorff, very young Stephen, in his first starring role. There are scenes from that film that have been stamped into my memory to this day, like, and I'm sure you guys and dolls have seen it, in the trailer, and you've seen the picture where, the guy like falls down and he breaks into a bunch of little demons, these little demons. So it kind of actually somewhat taps into the quote unquote magic of Gremlins, where you have these little demon dudes running around, running amok. I always liked it. It has to do with what? It has to do with children. It has to do with, the parents are away, things go bad. Demons, opening up a gate to the other world. I always really liked the picture, and I always found, and it was a big hit. I'm sure Kier. And I always found it a shame that the sequel, which was directed by the same director as the first one, he has a weird name, Tibor
Takas?
Takas, who did a great film, by the way, guys and dolls. If you haven't seen this movie by Tibor, whatever he said, I Man. With Jenny Wright, who was one of the leads in Near Dark. So Tibor Takas, I think, did that movie. It's a really good movie. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out and see it. But unfortunately, The Gate, not much like Poltergeist, really. Poltergeist had a great first film. The second film has merits. Third film also actually has merits, but never lived up to the OG. And the same thing happened with The Gate. And The Gate, the first one is so strong, and the second one I found a convoluted mess, but maybe I haven't seen it in a million years, so who knows.
I haven't seen any of the sequels, not for any reason other than I just haven't seen them. But I agree with everything you said about this first one. Some of the scenes in this movie are straight up horrific. I mean, like, it is crazy because while I do think this is a perfect gateway horror movie example, because it is a family movie. For all intents and purposes, it still feels like it's not a horror movie. But there's like the scene with the dog when the kid's thinking it's his mom.
Yeah, dude. That's whack, bro.
There is some stuff in that movie that will traumatize a kid, and that's why it's so fucking good. Is because like it'll. This is one of those ones you put on so that your mom thinks that you're watching, you know, a nice movie, and this is a nice family movie. Ma, it's all good. And then you get to those scenes, and you have to kind of be like, okay, hold on. This is the only time that something like this happens. And then the next scene happens, and you go, okay, well, this is the only other time something like that happens. And that's perfect because it gives you enough guilt to where you're like, maybe this isn't appropriate to show kids, or maybe this isn't as family friendly. But then the rest of the movie happens, and it kind of does, you know, I don't know. It definitely gives you both, and it gives you a 1-2 punch, very difficult to deny. Like, it's scary. It is scary, you know. And that's why I love it. Also, yeah, Steven Dorff. The only other thing I saw him in this young was an M&M's commercial where he played like a little league kid, and he's like looking at it. He's got a bag full of peanut M&Ms, and he's like, the green one, I'll hit it into the outfield. Or like, I'll make it to second base. The orange one, third base. The blue one, I'll bring it all the way home. And I don't know why I know that commercial, but it's Steven Dorff. He's the same age as he is in this movie, and then that's my history with it. But you actually, John, I hate to keep giving you your roses, but maybe you like it. You not only know Dorff, but you're in a Uwe Boll movie with him where you two speak directly to each other. You don't have to tell the story, but what was it like working with Steven Dorff? Did he seem
no, I loved him. I had a scene in Alone in the Dark with Steven Dorff, directed by Uwe Boll, and I really Steven Dorff. He I know I'm live, dude, so I can't edit this. So I'm just gonna say he for me, with me, he was very kind and very helpful. And you know, there were some times where things were not going right, and he went to bat for me, and I appreciated that. So I have nothing bad to say about Steven Dorff. He was a class act with me, and a very good actor. So nothing bad to say about him. I enjoyed it. I learned things from watching him work. So
right on, man. Right on. He seems like a cool guy. I've seen some interviews with him, and I love him when he's in a movie. So that's got to be something.
He's no bullshit. That's the thing with him.
Well, that's why you guys get along.
Yeah, he's no bullshit. He doesn't give a fuck. So he, you know, if you get in his face, he'll get in your face and stuff like that. So, he's cool.
Right on. And you know what? I'm proud of you, Johnny, because we're live right now, and
I know, man.
You pulled it all the way through. I can see you going, I'm media trained. I'm not gonna say anything that I'm gonna regret later, and I
want to talk, but you know, I gotta keep it copacetic. So
maybe we should start a Patreon, and then you guys can get all the private conversations.
Look at this guy taking him money all the time. Man.
Buy merch, do the Patreon. Yeah, man. I love The Gate. I really do. I think that compared to my next movie, it does make my next movie seem a lot less scary compared to The Gate.
Which one?
My final movie is The Frighteners, probably in my top 5 movies of all time. Yeah. I've seen this movie, John. I'm not kidding you. I've seen this movie 50 times easily. I watch it probably more than once a year on average, maybe 3 times a year. I cannot get enough of this movie. And I, again, hate to keep doing this to you. We bonded at VidCon, you and I, over this movie because we both love it.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, oh, hey, we're going to dinner. In fact, I'm going to pull up some VidCon. We got a little bit of just VidCon B-roll. So we're at VidCon this year. You're going to see your handsome face doing, there were some people that I think recognized you. We're taking some photos. I snapped a video of some people.
That's all good.
Yeah. But so when we were there, we're talking about the Frighteners because you said, hey, Kier, when we go out to our company dinner, I got a buddy who who might want to be there or who might drop by or come over, and hang out after a panel at some point. And of course I says to you, John, who we talking about here? You said, oh, it's just Peter Dobson, played Ray in the Frighteners, no big deal. And then what happened, John?
You want me to say?
You can.
Okay.
I want to know how this went down from your perspective, because from my perspective, it would be very anticlimactic.
You were passing kidney stones. That's what happened, dude. I mean, Guys and Dolls, he loves the Frighteners. I'm friends with Peter Dobson. He's a great guy and a great actor. And I managed to have Mr. Dobson, meet us at a, company dinner. Unfortunately, Mr. Pierre Gomes here was passing kidney stones on the night of the dinner. So he missed meeting Peter. And it was unique.
I regret this all. So your perspective of the story does make it sound better, because to me, I was this close to meeting him. I was this close.
Yeah, dude, it was done. It was done.
And it was the one time, because if you remember, I had already gone to the doctor and they said, you're just going to pass him. So some days you're going to be in pain. Other times you won't be. I was going to panels that whole week, toughing it out. Finally, the one time I was like, I can't tough this one out. I have to go back to the hotel and lay down, was the night of the dinner. And Tyler, who you guys know, he's been a guest on the show, Tyler Nichols, who was my roommate at VidCon, also got sick that night. If you remember.
Oh, I do. Trust me, I do, man.
So for the two of us,
you and Tyler were like out of order, and it was me, Lancey Boy, and Dobson and whatever. But it's all good, man. Things, life goes the way it goes. No worries.
Yeah. There'll be another time. There'll be other cons.
Well,
we'll be in LA another time.
I'll say this. I mean, it's the first time you and I do the stream together, and God willing, we'll do it again. And the next time we do it, I'll get Peter on to come on and say what's up. All right.
I know it's live, but it's also being recorded, John. So
I know, but
I
mean it. I will. He's a cool dude. He's totally cool with that. So I tried to call him before. I wanted to get him on this stream. I called him, but he didn't answer. So I'm like, okay, it's not meant to be for this stream, but down the road, I'll get him on and say what's up. I mean, The Frighteners is a great film, and he was great in it. And he's a great dude. So yeah. Yeah,
he played possibly my favorite role in that movie that wasn't Michael J. Fox. And there's, that movie has Arlie Ermey. You got Jake Busey in that movie. You got Jeffrey Combs in that movie, even, who maybe is the best.
D. Wallace Stone.
Yeah. What's her name? Trini Alvarado is in it. Yeah. Dude, that movie is so special, and it really means a lot. But yeah, Peter Dobson in that movie, always, ever since I was a little kid, he plays Ray. For those of you that haven't seen The Frighteners, by the way, go check it out, because it's amazing. And John S. Ewings 221 says, you're a better director than Peter Jackson. You're a starving director. Now, John, you don't seem starving for work to me, because you've made some pretty great movies, but I will say you are a good director. And I think if Peter Jackson had seen Malicious, he would have told you you're a good director as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
You guys go see that movie. I should have made a QR code, dude. I wasn't prepared.
No, it's all good. It's all
about
good.
it. Sorry about that.
Whatever, man.
And I hate to keep. I'm probably embarrassing you talking about it so much, but
no, it's all good, dude. Don't worry about it.
But I just back to the Frighteners, back to Dobson. Ray in that movie as douchebag boyfriend, who is a non-believer in the paranormal, who's just some fitness guy who can't be bothered with anything other than his garden and his gnomes and his body. When he dies in that film and becomes a ghost, I truly I could do impressions of him for hours. His raspy voice, how panicked he is the whole time. It would have been cool to tell him all of that in person, but I'm also in some ways, John,
we will.
I'm also kind of thankful I didn't meet him that time, because had I still been in pain from the stones, I don't think I would have been able to properly participate in the good times. I would have been sitting there kind of.
Yeah, no, you were not.
So I am, but we'll get there, and I'll owe you a big old hug and a kiss right on your big cute face.
Just buy me a beer.
Oh, or we'll do that, or I'll buy you a beer. Totally buy you a beer.
Actually, Darnell Leaks just said House 2.
Yeah,
very good call, by the way. Very good call in terms of gateway horror, because even House 1 is kind kind of borderline, but House 2 is is softer than House 1. Actually, I'm watching it fairly soon again. I haven't seen it in a million years. It has the guy from Cheers that plays Cliff Clavin, John Ratzenberger.
Yeah.
I'm a big Cheers fan, so I'm like, I gotta watch House 2. So I'm gonna watch it this month. So good call, dude. Yeah, that's a good one. Gateway horror movie. Yeah.
I actually I watched House 2 last year. I like to sometimes there's certain memes that come out of a movie that are just so good that it makes you want to watch the actual movie it comes from. There's a clip from House 2 that's pretty viral of some of the acting performance in there. And I was like, dude, I haven't seen this movie in a while. I'm going to go watch it. And I got to be honest, I enjoyed it. I had a hell of a time watching that movie, So
actually, I got a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm ready.
Is the lead dude, and guys and dolls, if you know this, let us know. Is the lead dude in House 2 the same dude that played young Sherlock Holmes in that Spielberg produced movie?
That's a really good question. I don't know,
they
but
look so much alike.
Based on the way they look,
but I'm old.
Yeah, say it is. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now while we do.
Guys and dolls, you got an answer? Is the dude in House 2 the main dude, the same dude that played young Sherlock Holmes in that Spielberg produced movie? I know it's all ladies, and I'm old, but if let me know right now because I'm curious. I know Kier's checking out right now, aren't you, Mo?
Yep, I'm gonna find it. And also, by the way, somebody did put young Sherlock Holmes as one of their gateway horror movies, which
that's
I don't
a great
think
film.
It is a good film. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, Darnell's telling me no dice.
Yeah, I can't find anything that says it's the same dude. I'm not doing a very in-depth search.
I thought it was the same motherfucker, but I guess not. Fair enough.
Dude, some people just look way too much alike. You know what I mean? There's they're kind of that age-old thing. There was this recent phenomenon. Did you hear about this, John? This recent phenomenon when there was a Netflix movie came out last year called, doesn't matter what it's called, but it had Kevin Bacon in it, and I can't remember who it was, but it was Kevin Bacon and somebody who looks nothing like Kevin Bacon. But when the movie came out, everybody was like, "Is that the same guy?" And it was two very well-known actors, but apparently, like, this new thing came out where supposedly they look alike, and I don't see it at all. I wish I could tell you. This is such a bad story because I can't remember, but
that's all good, man.
But anyway,
well, there you go. Gore Finn said Nicholas Rowe was young Sherlock Holmes. All right.
Okay, I don't know what the guy's name is from House 2.
Well, I'm not gonna go online. I want to, paint people. I'm gonna sing and dance, be a monkey. But I will go online after this show and just find out what's up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be curious. There's some things that came up during this stream that have inspired me to watch certain movies and look up certain movies just based on comments and you know what? I think it's been long enough since I've watched Monster Squad. It's probably been 2 years, maybe 3 years since maybe I'll watch that tonight. That'd be a good one to watch.
You should, dude. You should, man.
Life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to do a giveaway? You want to give away some stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I clipped my nails before we could give away that,
I'm sure there's got to be a few people in here like I think you're a better director than Peter Jackson. He'll buy your nails.
No. Let's give away a Blu-ray, a 4K. How about Monster Squad? How about that?
Monster Squad.
Yeah, man.
Do that. In fact,
maybe I'll win the contest, but yeah.
I was gonna say this might be one that I want to participate in because I don't have this movie on Blu-ray, and it would be nice if I did. In fact, if you guys want to win this, we have a nice question. This is one we came up with that we thought would stump somebody out there. Which iconic film poster? It's also not easy to Google. Which iconic film poster can be seen on the clubhouse wall in Monster Squad? So the crew has their little clubhouse. There's a very clearly in frame. It's in focus. You can see it.
Good luck, guys.
Poster. And the first person will win a copy of Monster Squad on 4K Ultra UHD.
You stumped me, man. I don't know.
I wouldn't have got this either. I wouldn't have got it, which is how I knew it was a good one.
That's like the hardest question ever, dude. Okay. Can you tell John he reminds me of Bob Goldsmith? Who the hell is that?
Let's find out.
Who's Bob Goldsmith? I never heard that.
Bob Goldsmith.
Human being, yeah. I hope it's a compliment. It's like I'm just going to shut up now.
I think he's like a American police officer or something.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. I like cops, so it's all good. All right.
You remind me of you just remind me of you, to be honest. I've never met
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're special,
I like
kind of
that.
son of a bitch.
Rick Jones was the poster Deep Throat. Just for that, I wanted to win.
Starring Lovelace.
Exactly. He's a funny cunt. American Werewolf in London. Do you know the answer, by the way, bro?
I do know the answer, but I
Okay.
have not seen it yet. So it was not American Werewolf. It was not Deep Throat. Okay.
It should have been, but yeah.
Could you imagine if in the kids' club? You know what? Kids in the 80s, it might have been if it was real. Because they would have stolen that poster from the nearest rental store.
Monster. I'm Googling this shit, dude. You're never going to get an answer, man.
If I don't get it, I'll come up with a better way to pick a winner. But I thought this would be a perfect one for like somebody, you know, because this movie is so good, everybody loves it. I was like, there's somebody that's gonna know this.
Oh, Police Academy. I think he's got it.
It's not Police Academy, although I think there is a Police Academy reference in that movie. Oddly enough,
great movie by the way. But yeah,
Darnell Leak, you're close. You're close.
Night of Living Dead, bro. Just write Night of Living Dead, bro. Come on, Darnell. Come on. I'm waiting.
I want to look up. I want to make sure there wasn't also a Police Academy poster on their wall.
Bro, you had to pick like the hardest question ever.
I know. I kind of regret it now. I've been thinking like maybe they're too easy, you know, because I get a lot of times where I ask the question before I'm even done asking it. People are like, I already know what it is. Keep them coming, guys. I'm just verifying that I don't owe somebody a win if there's secretly a Police Academy poster on that wall. And I kind of now feel like that might also be true. Which would be so embarrassing, by the way.
It's on you, dog.
It would be.
My hands are washed to this one. I'm just playing.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I'm not gonna say a word. Everyone I said is there. I'm looking at it. King Kong. Bobcat Goldthwait, great man. Bro. Dawn the Dead, Return of the Living Dead.
Wait.
Dawn the Dead, right? I think they had Dawn the Dead poster, no?
It was, in fact, I put the Evil Dead like an idiot, but it was Dawn of the Dead as the answer. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead is the answer. So let's go back.
Who's the numero uno Dawn of the Dead?
The first one that I'm seeing was Powder Keg. Let's verify. Yes. Okay, right on. Woo! That was good, man. Powder Keg, you won. I regret, and I'll do this publicly. I regret picking such a difficult damn question. Next time it will be easy. Okay, easier anyway.
Your salary might go down next month, buddy. You know,
maybe not. I don't know. If it does, then I'll know I earned that demotion.
I'm playing, bro.
Yeah. Now, Powder Keg, my main man. You can email John this time instead of me because, as you guys know, for some reason you guys don't like to spell my name right, or reach out to me personally, and that's okay. So reach out to arrow@joblo.com to claim your prize.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys see a Police Academy poster on the clubhouse wall in that movie, screenshot that and send it to me so I can make another formal apology if you did get it right, okay? All right, everybody. Now, with that being said, I'm going to plug some merch really quick, too, because you guys know me. This wouldn't be a live show, a Friday Night Flicks, without telling you, go check out our merch. I know it sounds like every YouTuber that tells you to go check out their merch, and it is just like that. But here's the thing. You love movies. I love movies. We have movie quotes, movie references that are a little more subtle. They're for the people that know movies. If you wear your Poltergeist shirt that just says "They're here" with a picture of a sick TV on it, only the people that also love Poltergeist are gonna get that. So that's what I like about it. I like it because it doesn't advertise. It's not a shirt that just says "I watch movies," although that would be a sick shirt. Maybe we should make that. But they're cool. They're tongue-in-cheek. They're kind of if you know, you know t-shirts. And to me, understated stuff like that, it kind of lets you know who your other movie friends really are. You know what I'm saying?
True that, bro.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, Powder Keg, So it looks like you emailed John already. Right on. Thank you. And also S Ewings 221. John would like to know if they can email you. I've been seeing
everybody
is a
can
fan of
email
yours.
me, say what's up. It's all good, man. I'm a friendly person. So, SE Wing 221, shoot me an email, buddy. No worry about it. We got over here Gorafin. He commented, or he or she, I'm sure commented a lot tonight. John Fallon, thoughts on Agatha all along?
Agatha, it's a new Marvel TV show about witches.
Shit. I have zero thoughts. I never heard of it until now, but now, because of you, I'm going to check it out and see what's up.
You can go check it out on Disney Plus for free.
John, you owe me some back child support. Oh, how'd I get in there? I'm kidding.
I was looking for that. I was like, wait. I'm gonna ban that.
I'm just playing.
Right on, man. Well, I gotta pack. Like I said, I got a plane to catch tomorrow. I think I'm gonna watch Monster Squad tonight, so I might text you.
You should, bro. Let me know what's up, man.
If you get a text from me that's like, you're right, this is way better than Little Monsters after all.
It is way better than Little Monsters. Come on.
I've seen both Into the Ground, but tonight I'm gonna be going into it I'm gonna try to take this from the perspective of John Fallon. I'm gonna get into my my John Fallon character. I'll get a Peaky Blinders hat.
Pay your baby mama.
You get a nice clean shave. Pay your baby mums.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny.
That's very funny. All right, man. Well, Arrow, dude, it was so sick having you here. We've been waiting a long time to do this. I've been waiting a long time to do this. I need to have you back on this show at some point.
I will. I actually, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little nervous because I'm not really good with having a filter, but I know it's live, so I can go back and edit all the stupid shit I'm gonna say. But I pulled it off. I'm happy with myself, and I want to thank you all, actually, guys and dolls. Thank you for all the love, and I really appreciate it. And I will come back to the show, no worries. And Kier, always a pleasure to fucking hang back, talk shit. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, man. Yeah, you're one of my favorite people to talk shit with. So
awesome,
I love this. I got a lot out of this. I hope you did too. But most importantly, guys, you all have a great weekend. Watch tons of movies. Watch your favorite gateway horror movies. Show your kids. You know what? Here's my homework to y'all. If you guys have kids, show your kids one of the movies from this list tonight. If you feel good about it. I would love to hear what they thought of it in the next show, which is next Friday. We're not going to miss it. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to play us out with our outro. John, do you have any last words? How ominous.
Just thank you. Thank you, everybody, for, being on the show. And please come back next Friday. And, we definitely appreciate all the love. And I had a blast, man. I had a good time, man. That was
told
fun.
you.
So, as the T800 once said, I'll be back. So I'll be back.
Right on. That's perfect last words. All right. Good night, everybody. Arrow and Kier, we're out.
Peace out.